Hey everybody, this week's reset class is called Bridge It. So as we know, a bridge is, yes, a yoga position that we find in class. And in our lit yoga methodology classes, we almost always start our classes off with a bridge as a way of activating the posterior chain. The reason that the pose is named that is because a bridge is a strong structure that connects 2 points together. So for our thematic purposes today, we're going to think of our core as our bridge, tying that upper and lower half together. I have a yoga block with me today for some of our moves. Know that you definitely don't absolutely need that yoga block, but you might find it quite helpful for some of the things we're going to do. You could also always take like a pillow or a squishy exercise ball or something that can fit between your legs, and that can serve as well. But come onto your back to get started. And if you have that object, you can bring it in between your legs, real close to the pubic bone there, so that you can get a nice solid engagement of those inner muscles of the legs. Arms are by our side, and we can wiggle the feet out a little bit. We still want those soles connected to the ground. Big inhale here. Exhale, squeeze into the block, root your tailbone to your heels, and extend your hips. So we're extending the hips upwards, feeling a little rooting of the tailbone, lengthening out of the neck. Another big inhale here. So this is our first bridge. And I like to think of this pose as a ramp pose. We're making the shape of a ramp. A ramp is some kind of bridge taking us from one level, the floor, usually up to a second level, something a little bit elevated here. But then we're also making that shape with our hips, bringing them into a little bit of extension. Now, you don't want to feel it in the low back. So you can have a really low bridge. In fact, a low bridge is often superior to a high bridge because, like you can see me here, you want to feel the firing up of the glutes, right where those legs plug into the glutes, all that's ready to go. Now, as we start to stretch out our wrists, and we'll take our hands up to the ceiling, start to lift and lower your heels. So we're doing these little heel bops. Again, just setting our bridge up, getting it ready for power, bridging it all together, connecting our core. Start to stretch out the right wrist with the left hand. So you can pull back on the forefingers of your right hand with your left hand. Breathing in and all the way out. Continue to work the glutes, continue to lift and lower the heels. Another breath on this side. We'll switch wrists, stretch out that left wrist, and we can all bring our heels to connect to the ground. Now, once you just feel all that heat that you just built for yourself here in this ramp pose, again, let the glutes really activate here, really fire up. One more breath on the left wrist, and exhale, side all the way out. Release that left wrist, arms back by your side. Let's lower that bridge on down. So we don't want our bridge to be falling down, right? Slow and controlled. Nice. So bring that all the way down. And here we'll bring our knees over our hips. Now, if you have a yoga block, it can be really, really nice to take that block on the widest setting in between your knees. It'll help engage even more. We're going to activate the core, and it's going to look like more of those rope and hanging bridges. We'll bring our hands behind our head, interlace the fingers, elbows tie in. Big inhale here. Exhale, squeeze into the block and draw into the center. So feel that little bridging of the upper body, the lower body through the abdominals pulling in. We lift the shoulder blades, we get the lower body working by squeezing that block. Inhale and lower. Exhale, lift. So we're coming to our little, rope and wood bridge, Indiana Jones style, right? Inhale and lower, or Shrek, right? The bridge they have to get across to get to the dragon. Exhale and lift. We're going to be a little bit more sturdy and stable than that bridge though. So we bring our shoulders up, we squeeze into the block. Let's take a little twist to the left. Like you're bringing your right elbow towards the left. Because like we talked about, those rope bridges, they seem to be a little bit swayy. So we're taking a little twist here, getting adaptable. Come back through center, inhale, lower. Exhale and lift. So again, you come to your little wooden rope bridge structure through that core drawing in, little twist to the right. There's just a little bit of wind, so our bridge is swaying just a bit to the right, but our sacrum stays connected. Squeeze into the block, come back through center, inhale, lower. So we exhale and lift, gather together, squeeze in that block. Again, take a little twist to the left. That right elbow, like it was going to touch the very top of that block, but it doesn't quite get there. Come back through center, inhale, lower. Again, think of that core, it's that bridge, that connection between the upper and lower body. Exhale, draw into the core. Build that bridge, lift the shoulders, squeeze into the block, take that little twist to the right, keep squeezing your block. Use those adductors around the pelvis to really stabilize the core. Come back through center, inhale, lower. Exhale and lift, gather together. It's gonna be a little different. Take a little twist to the left, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your block. Come through center with the upper body and twist to the right. Keep squeezing your blocks. We're going both ways. You come through center, inhale and lower. One more like that, exhale and lift, twist to the right. So as you twist to the right, you stay off that right shoulder blade, try and keep the neck relaxed here and come back through center, twist to the left. Neck is relaxed, but core is very much on. We have that shoulder blade up, squeeze the block, a little higher, through center, inhale and lower. Release the block from in between the legs. We'll come into a different type of bridge on hands and knees, quadruped. So coming into all fours here. So now again, the bridge being our core, everything here between the shoulders and the pelvis, really everything but our limbs and our skull. So we want to feel that core connection, good, strong, solid base of support by lifting that front line of the body into the back line of the body, feeling those shoulder blades secure on the back ribs. You don't want any part of the bridge to be collapsing. So your neck is falling out of line. Lift your throat into the back of the neck energetically. And if that still feels a little out of line, I find it helpful to look forward, then pull my chin in towards the chest and really give myself that reach back throw. Really good here. Take another inhale. And then exhale, feel that full connection into the core. Really, really powerful here. Another big inhale here. So again, thinking of our core as that bridge that connects those 2 points, the upper and lower body. Breathing out, just feeling that stability. Inhaling here, allowing that expansion from top to bottom, side to side, and front to back, and then exhaling and feeling like that core sitting, feeling everything drawing back together. Tuck your left toes if they haven't been already. Slide your left leg back behind you. So the left knee is off the ground. Slide your right leg back behind you, and we're in our plank here. Feel free to lower the knees for more support, but we're holding our plank. This also, like a bridge, strong and steady here, going across it. Now we're gonna raise that bridge by exhaling and folding ourselves in half for down dog, using the strength of the abdominals. Try to keep the weight in your hands equal. Work on not letting the shoulders collapse back and releasing the chest, but instead pushing into your hands and feeling some feedback from the floor through those forearms. Another breath in here. And you can have the hands up on blocks for a little more space, but step the left foot through like a little ship passing through that raised bridge. We're gonna keep our stability, our connection here, so we won't let the palms lift. Now lower the knees down, 90-90 low lunge. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. We're like a little drawbridge here. Think of your right glute being that little mechanism that's lifted you up and is holding that drawbridge up nice and tall here. So we'll take another inhale here, lengthening the sides. And with an exhale, bring your right hand down inside that left foot. And then take your left arm and sweep it underneath your left leg. So it's still 90-90 in the legs, but now we're doing a little bit of a twisted crescent dynamic twist here. Press into the right hand. As you rotate through the ribs, open to the left. Let that left arm sweep back up and out. And then bring it right back under your left leg. Hug it underneath of you. Even push into your right hand a little and really feel a little doming in the upper back. We'll do about 4 more times. Peeling it open, inhaling, and sweeping it under. And you might also find you go a little slower than say 5 breaths. That's a-okay. And if you're moving a little quicker, a little more dynamically, also a-okay. I just want the movement to feel fluid for you. You're using that right scapula to peel yourself open to the left. You're sweeping that left arm under. You're pressing into the right hand, feeling a little doming of the upper back. Really good. One more time. Hug that left arm through. Really, really nice here. And then we'll release our left hand and we'll bring it into a little stretch for our piriformis. This is a fun way to get into pigeon. Wiggle your left foot over to your right hand and come down on the outside of your left hip. So we're in a little like 90-90 thing with the knees still. It's like a ballet sit. You'll walk your hands so that they're lining up with the front left leg. It doesn't have to be perfect, but my knee is somewhere in between my 2 hands here. I could stay like this, getting a little external rotation for the left leg, breathing in. and back out. Eventually, you might find you want a little more hip flexion in that front space. So you could come down just a little bit lower. We can even let our neck kind of relax here, but I still want you to feel a little gathering of the core, a little bit of holding and supporting here. Third and final option is to take your back leg. So on this side, it's the right toes, and we're gonna roll our right thigh in towards the floor. Now pushing into your right toes, you'll be able to roll your right thigh in a little bit more. And so we're creating internal rotation on the right side to create an external rotation, stretch and release on the left side. Big breath here. So we're using an activation of this inner right femur bone, rolling in, getting internal rotation to help a little release on that external rotator on that left side. When we are bridging using our ramp pose, we are working those glutes. So now we're giving the glutes and some of those muscles around the pelvis a little reward here for all that hard work they're doing in our plank and in our quad and all of our starting moves on the floor. You'll notice my knee is lifted. You don't have to actually lift your knee. I'm just pressing enough into my right big toe that just sort of happens naturally and it feels like a good stretch. But if your knee's still on the ground, A-okay again. More important that you're focusing on rolling this thigh in towards the floor. Let's all take one more breath. And in that same way, what you can do to come out is rebend your right knee, stop pushing into the toe so that you have a chance to walk the hands back. Now slide your left leg back underneath of you. We're back in our quadruped. Let's just wiggle our hips from side to side a couple of times before we take that over to the other side. Get a little bit of lateral flexion going here in the spine. One more big breath in. Exhale, let that draw you into the core. We'll find some stillness in the spine. Take another breath here at that stillness for the quad. Again, check in with the neck, feel the throat lifting into the back of the neck. You always lift the gaze, feel the shoulder blades on the back ribs. A lot of people have a tendency to dome them. So notice if you're really doming your upper back. Then from here, tuck the toes, slide your right foot back. You want to feel your right toes pressing into the ground. Right glute is fired up there. And then left foot slides back. We're in our plank. Hands are actively pressing into the ground. We feel our shoulders on our back ribs. Again, check in with your neck. Is the bridge collapsing? Don't let it fall down. We're not in London here. You can protract your shoulders a little bit and then bring them back onto your shoulder or onto the rib cage. Feel that in neutral just to get familiar with it. Glutes are working here, not like 100%. They got like a solid 50, 60% that they're holding my pelvis up with. And now one more big breath here. Exhale, fold yourself in half, hinging your hips. Downward facing dog. Weight is equal in the hands and the feet. You can always walk the feet in, bend the knees, but press in your hands, feel a little elevation around the ribs. Another breath in here. We'll step the right foot forward and bring the left knee down. Try not to pick up your hands, but really just let that foot stay connected, like something traveling under the bridge. Lower that left knee down, like a drawbridge. You're going to inhale, arms reach forward and up. Lengthening. So from our 90-90 low lunge, I'm going to feel that power, that strength here. Again, left glute is on, holding us up. The right hand will come down. Sorry, the left hand comes down inside the right foot. Your right arm actually swings under your right arm and gives you a hug. Now push into your left hand and feel a little doming of just that upper back. Then as you open up to the right, you want to press into your left hand, let that left shoulder blade peel you open. So taking a little 90-90 low lunge, twisted crescent dynamic move here. Sweep that right arm under the right leg, press in the left hand, and then peel it open. As we sweep that right arm under, we get a nice little protraction, little spread and press. And then we lean on that left shoulder. We peel our right side open. Sweep that right arm under, press into that left, peel it open. One more time, sweep right under, press into that left, and peel it open. This time we'll sweep that right arm under and then take your right hand down next to your right foot, setting up for our pigeon pose. We'll stretch for that piriformis, that external hip rotator. So to do that, wiggle your right foot over to your left hand and it'll almost get to like the edge of the mat. It might even come off the mat a little bit as you come down to your ballet sit. So I got my back to you this time. That way you can see my back leg. Again, our hands, we're just framing out our front right knee here. So not exactly, doesn't have to exactly be perfect, we're just getting some sense of that knee between the hands. Option to stay up like this or come down onto your forearms. Take a few breaths like that. And if you liked it from before, you'll take your left foot this time. So you want to bring your mind to where your leg plugs into your hip socket. Roll that left thigh in towards the floor, squeezing that left glute. Feeling a little stretch here on that outer right hip. Big breath in. And as you roll that left thigh in, you want to feel that little opening, that little bit of releasing for that right external hip rotator, that piriformis. My hope here is this feels a lot better for your knees, doesn't put that awkward pressure in on the side of them. And we're still maintaining a neutral pelvis, even though, you know, orientation-wise to the floor, yes, it is diagonal as far as its line up with the floor, but we're focused on our alignment with our spine. So I'll take about one more here. Know that you can definitely go for longer, especially if you feel you really need it. Honor that in your body. But we'll come out the same way we came in by going backwards. So you can relax the left leg, bring that left thigh to, you know, just kind of come back to neutral, walk your hands back, and we'll slide our right knee back in line. Quadruped here, pull the chest through, lift the tailbone, get that little broadening, pushing your hands, root your tailbone, spread your shoulder blades. Take a few cat-cows. Just let this little wave travel up your spine and back down it, releasing your neck, pressing, feeling that spread, that opening. We could take two more. You can absolutely do more than that, add any rib circles or anything else like that that you may typically like. But eventually we'll come to stillness in that quadruped and just feel, again, your stability, your support, just like a bridge here, tying our upper body, our lower body together, using the strength of the core, those abdominals, obliques, multifidi, all that wonderful stuff that holds us all together. So I hope that this helps you feel a little bit more bridged together between your upper and lower half. Again, all of this in the yoga practice, just helping us find a little bit more balance. And so in that pursuit, the light in me, honest, the light that shines inside of you. I bow, say namaste.